Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. It's the 20th day of October 2023. I hope you're enjoying your Friday and that you got nice weekend plans for you and your family, and that you and your family is all safe and healthy. Happy Friday to you. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field who, along with the first responders every day, are out here saving lives. Those also who pick up garbage for us to keep our places clean and disease free. Those also who make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings upon the men and women that are out here helping to rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children who are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, double curses on the profiteers and the perverts who create this industry. Finally, double blessings upon those that are homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children homeless in the United States and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. So, being that it is Friday, the 20th of October, the Knicks have until Monday, the 23rd of October, to extend Emmanuel Quickley. If they don't extend Emmanuel Quickley by Monday, I'm not sure what time on Monday, but sometime Monday, he will become a restricted free agent next summer. I've noticed in the comments that many don't understand what it means to be a restricted free agent. Restricted means that he can't just leave for nothing. What it means is he can go to any team he wants and sign a contract, and the Knicks have the right to match that contract. Okay? And so generally what happens in the NBA in these scenarios, what has been happened many times before, is the restricted free agent will work with the current team to get them to a team they want to be on, and there'll be a sign and trade. That's generally how these things end up working out in the league, especially with a player that is as valuable as Emmanuel Quickley. He is very valuable to the Knicks. And again, just like Obi, he is a starter level player coming off the bench. There are very few players that can handle both roles. There are guys that are built to come off the bench, as I mentioned, like a Josh Hart or Isaiah Hartenstein. And then there are guys that are just basically meant to be starters, like R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. Brunson can actually do both, as he did in Dallas, but he is supposed to be a starter. So Quickley can do both, and he's proven he can do both. He's started games, and he's done very well starting games, and he's done very well coming off the bench. Had big games in both areas. He's expanded his game to include defense since his rookie year. He's become an excellent defender. He knows how to handle an offense, an NBA offense. And as I mentioned many times, there are several teams that would be interested in Emmanuel Quickley, multiple teams. The Knicks have multiple players that teams are interested in. It's a shame that in Knicks Nation, people don't recognize or appreciate their own talent. I was hearing all kind of howls about let Richard Robinson walk when it was time for his extension, and let's just trade him. He's not that good. He doesn't shoot threes. And yet, the deal with Portland was hinging on Mitchell Robinson, and the Knicks walked away because Portland wanted Mitchell Robinson. Because even if he can't shoot a three, what people don't understand, just as important and more important in some cases, is his defensive presence and his ability to put pressure on the rim. Putting pressure on the rim means if you don't watch him, not only is he going to get an offensive rebound, he's going to flush it on you. And then he's going to create problems in terms of fouls for your team. So that's just as important as somebody that could shoot a three. Mitchell Robinson puts a lot of pressure on the rim, as Thibodeau says all the time, and he's a tremendous defensive anchor. So, but people in New York don't appreciate that. Same with Grimes, same with a lot of guys on our team. But anyway, other teams appreciate it. As I mentioned, summer before this past one, Danny Ainge was really pushing this deal with Donovan Mitchell, hinging on Quentin Grimes. The Knicks offered R.J. Barrett, but they wanted Quentin Grimes. The Knicks said no. See? So we have some very talented and very desired players on our team that other teams recognize as championship pieces. It's just that some of us don't. Emmanuel Quickley is one of those guys. He's another championship piece type of guy. And the Knicks would like to keep him. Like I said, I mentioned, I am positive that they have already offered him a contract. It's just a question of whether he wants to be a starter. He will not be a starter in New York on a full-time basis because of a Brunson. Brunson's in his prime right now. That holds up anybody from that's looking to start from starting. So Quick has enough. He has enough interest around the league that he could start for several teams. So the question will be now, if he doesn't sign, and this is making me a little nervous, to be quite honest with you, because I thought this deal would get done already. So either it's going to wait to the last minute this weekend or Monday, or it's not getting done, which means he will be a restricted free agent. If he's a restricted free agent, you will now have a sign and trade where you'll be able to include his salary in a deal for a bigger fish. So if the Knicks were interested, if Giannis Antetokounmpo, as an example, was available, whatever millions of dollars, and I'm expecting if he goes into the restricted free agent market, we're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of $25 million a year for Emmanuel Quickley. That money would go toward a trade, because talking about Giannis, talking about 40 or 50 million, so you need to make that money. That money will go toward a Giannis trade or a trade for an Embiid or a trade for another player that the Knicks might be interested in. So that's how that would work. Now, in terms of replacing Emmanuel Quickley, you can't really do that because of the uniqueness of his skill set, but you can bring in another guy who has a different skill set that might be just as valuable. And fortunately for the Knicks, because of how they have drafted and developed over the last 4 under Tom Thibodeau's regime and under the regime of Walt Perrin and the Don, they have somebody, and that's Deuce McBride. So they have Deuce McBride on a rookie deal, $1.9 million deal. He's in his 3rd season. He's already shown me enough to know that he's ready for the league level. He can play both sides of the basketball. As we know, he's a tremendous defender. Whereas Emmanuel Quickley made his name when he came into the league as an offensive player and developed defense, worked hard to develop his defense. Deuce comes in the league as a defensive ace and needs to prove to people he can shoot and he can play offense as well, which I'm very confident he can, and given more time, he will show that. So you have a Deuce McBride that's there already. You don't need to go get another guy. He's there. He can back up Jalen Brunson, and he can start if Jalen Brunson, for the 10 to 12 games Brunson would be sitting. He's ready to go. Just that you don't like to see a high-level talent like Emmanuel Quickley leave. Okay, that's what you don't want to see, and we may see that. I'm actually trying to use this video to brace you and brace myself in case he doesn't sign an extension by Monday. Now, this could all be moot because he could sign. It's not unprecedented for players to wait until the day of the deadline to sign their deal. That puts a lot of pressure on the management to give them the maximum possible deal, and all of us would go for that. So in other words, if you want to keep me, you got to pay me, and if you don't pay me, I'm not signing. That has happened lots of times, and then some players like Bogdan Bogdanovic from that's on Atlanta, when he was on the Kings, they put $56 million in front of him, and that was the max they would go, and that was a good contract because he at the time was coming off the bench, but he did not sign the deal, and he ended up in Atlanta getting a bigger deal. So that type of thing happens. And then of course there's like with Kevin Durant after his rookie deal, everybody was speculating whether he would sign. He signed it was a $65 million, I think it was. He signed it fast. It was done. He didn't make any fanfare about it when he first was eligible for free agency, and that happened quick way before the deadline. So here I don't know what Emmanuel Quickley is going to do, and the reason I don't know is because it makes sense for him to wait. It just makes sense because he's betting on himself. He's that type of guy that would do that. very confident in his ability. He does have teams interested in him as a starter, and he could get bigger money. Now, the Knicks could offer him a nice contract. I know they can offer him anywhere from 80 to $100 million. It'd be a nice contract for him. But if he's looking to start, that's not the money's not the issue. It's starting is the issue. And he would not start with Jalen Brunson here. So he could wait. We're going to find out next 72 hours or so. We're going to know. But if he does not sign, look for him to be traded as part of a package next summer. Deuce McBride would be there. They'd be dealing with an extension for McBride, but because of McBride's lack of usage, his number would be much less than Emmanuel Quickley. McBride's number will be something along the lines of a Dante DiVincenzo. Wouldn't be, officially the mid-level exception because Dante got that, but it would be in that range of $10 to $12 million a year for 3 or 4 seasons. And, that would be for Deuce. And now you have Emmanuel Quickley going to get his money and starting somewhere else. This all hinges this weekend. Okay. This is the weekend we're going to see. So, I love Deuce. I'm Deuce Hive. I would love to see Deuce start, but I can't front. The guys that are my guys are the guys like Mitch Rob, Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Deuce. Those are guys we drafted, guys we developed. I always favor guys that we, the Knicks, have drafted and developed and have become real players in the league. So, this is a little bit of a nervous weekend. It could all end at any moment with the announcement that Quickley has signed. That would be good. Hopefully today. Maybe today you hear something. Ian Becker come out and say, he has signed an extension. Okay, it's all over now. But if not, this is going to be interesting next summer. And we kind of, like I said, we already know how it's going to play out. Deuce is going to step up into the rotation right behind Jalen Brunson. And then you'll have Quickley going as part of a trade, a signing trade somewhere. And there'll be some other players involved if it's a superstar. So if you're talking about a Giannis, if you're talking about an Embiid, and then some's talking about Cat. I know most of us are not into the Cat situation, but if it was Cat, same situation though. You're going to have to involve another player. You're going to have to involve some more money. Money got to be exchanged right now. Fournier's $19 million is going to be expiring if the Knicks don't exercise his option. But it is possible that they could exercise the option as part of a trade to make a trade work. So we'll see what happens. That's why he's still here. His money is what's important. Fournier is not a Tibbs player. They're trying to showcase him, but he's an offensive shooter, but so is Grimes, and he can't play no defense. That's the problem. And you got Quickley, Grimes, and Deuce that could all play defense flat out on another level, from a level that Fournier never saw and never will see. So the thing is, Fournier's contract is the most important thing about him. It's not his play. It's not his spot in the rotation because he ain't going to have one. It's whether his contract is part of a deal. And so some other team might value the shooting, no defense dude. It happens. And so maybe he goes in a trade. And it could even be a 3-teamer, depending on what we got going on. So there's a lot of possibilities, all hinging on this weekend, whether Emmanuel Quickley signs this contract or does not. But I'll tell you what, we're going to find out by the end of the day on Monday. Until then, be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend, New York Nation, Knicks Nation. So